do some driving around, do some testing of mic equipment. Seems like there's a lot of background noise, so gonna have to work on that, which is fine. Welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. My nightly chat practice here. Biggest thing I've learned is I can't really turn my head and look at the screen, so I'm going to find some little monitor or perhaps my iPad to display the comments below. But you know, out here just testing. I'm going to try to get the, I'm going to pull over in a moment, just try to get the chat front and center, since it seems like the stream quality is excellent now. That makes me very happy. Again, this is just really to get ready for monsoon season here. So you'll know there was a massive haboob that the city of Phoenix was graced with this last week. I was lucky enough to chase a tornado in South Dakota and then fly back within 2 days and get off the plane and chase the haboob. So my biggest complaint of all of it is my live streaming left a lot to be desired. So that is why I'm out here tonight. I'm just going to drive around for an hour. Just going to enjoy some night driving here in Phoenix when it's nice and cool. And then from there, answer any questions, but first I'm going to pull over. Welcome to Phoenix, by the way. Scottsdale, technically. I know I've been traveling around everywhere, but this is home. There are a lot of people coming home right now. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to pull into, goodness gracious. Never seen this street this busy. Wonder if there is an event at the middle school. So, as we pull in here on the right, that's Bosa Donuts, some of the best donuts in the valley. It's a chain. Fun fact, every single one is individually owned, so they specialize in different things. So very much, you gotta try each Bosa as you go along and ask, what do you specialize in? Alright, I'm just gonna pull over real quick, figure out how to get my comments right up. Let's see, studio mode. Oh, not that. Camera looks pretty good. Oh, done that. Oh, it's just no chat. No worries. All right. Yeah, I cannot crank my head around like that. So we'll set a timer for 15 minutes out, 15 minutes in. I do have family I need to go take care of. But I thought I would just share some plans for the next couple of weeks. So, Phoenix obviously just had its first major monsoonal event of the season. It was a long time coming. It's been a very dry summer here in Phoenix, which is why I fled to the northern plains to chase tornadoes, which had an extremely active, unusually active season. Swear to God, now it seems like everyone's leaving my neighborhood and going the opposite way. And so, this last week was really the first time that there's been a major monsoonal event this season, and it was a haboob. And it was the largest haboob here in over a decade, I want to say. I had just gotten out of chasing up in Minnesota and South Dakota when I landed at the airport, I didn't have reception for a couple of hours. And I just opened up Twitter, and Michael Glinsky, who is an amazing chaser and photographer here in the Phoenix area, was just like, haboob, haboob, haboob. And so then I waited patiently on my plane, waited super patiently for baggage claim at Sky Harbor, which takes a long time, and then thankfully my car was parked at the airport, so I didn't have to Uber back to Scottsdale. So I got in my car and just rushed down to Chandler and met the haboob head on. And thankfully I had my goggles and a respirator as well. So I was able to just let this thing hit me. I got into my car because there was flying debris where I was, and that offered some support. And I probably didn't need to roll down the window. I probably could have crouched against the car, because I have been cleaning haboob dust out of my Prius for a solid week. And it's still there. Like I said, my wife too has suffered because I took her car to chase the Borton dusty tornado wedge in Texas back in June. And that I'm still cleaning dust out of. There's an issue with the side window, and it never closed properly, and it would go back down, and I just got smacked with inflow, being sucked into this dust buster. And yeah, it was just everywhere, red dust. So anyway, chased the haboob. Mike got his amazing photos at the Sky Harbor terminal. Actually, I saw the chasers gathering there, and I was there at the same parking terminal, but I thought I would hit it on the ground. I wanted to be smacked in the face by the thing. But he got amazing photos, and he was featured in the Phoenix newspaper today, which was awesome. So, good for him. In terms of what's coming up for the next week or so here, we are expecting a major monsoonal event in the second half of the week. There's a tropical storm that's formed in the Gulf, just south of the Gulf of California, the Baja Peninsula. It should become a hurricane as well. There's just a ton of cape in the Gulf as well. But it's going to make landfall, Baja, maybe Cabo, but not expected to have direct impacts in Arizona. What it will have is the remnants are going to cause a lot of rain and wind and possibly severe weather all across southern Arizona. So that's going to be the major thing. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday look like they could be wet days. And it could be consistently wet days for at least, or a consistently wet day for at least one of them. I know that the other day we were blessed here in Phoenix with just carpeting of rain across the whole city, which was awesome. That's happened twice this week. Everyone seems to be in slightly better moods. But hopefully we'll get it again. I don't think there's going to be another haboob around us because the ground is so saturated. One haboob and done. But there might be some in places that didn't get as much moisture. I haven't had a chance to look, but I would love to see one more. But lightning is going to be a big thing, hail, flooding. So I'm going to be live streaming as much as I can. So I wanted to just test a little bit. So right now I'm running just one camera. I'm hoping to get a couple up and running with my Stream Deck as soon as possible. Yeah. And then, you know, it's sort of a wild card what happens with the remnants of the tropical storm / hurricane. You know, is it going to impact the remnants? Are they going to impact the southern plains at all, or be a springboard for severe weather or tornadic event? Not really known right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's also, next week looks interesting, both the GFS and the CFS, which are two different models that look at long range format, forecasts. They have been sounding off on like heavy CAPE in both Oklahoma one day and then southern Minnesota and Iowa another, and then the next run they have nothing. So we'll see what happens. But if it does look like it's going to be a big event, I got the wife's permission to chase it. She's awesome. So, I thought my season was done after Gary. Then, I went back to Minnesota for a memorial for a dear friend. And I saw throughout the week the possibility of a Tornadic event. And went, gotta take the swing. And thankfully I was one of the only chasers there. It killed me because my live stream went down in the middle of it. My reception was bad and my Starlink was having issues through my rental. So, it is just beautiful here in Phoenix right now. In Scottsdale. Well, this has been fun. So next up on my list is I'm going to get the sound a little better. I think there's quite a lot of residual or ambient noise here, and so maybe a lavalier is the way to go, or at least a microphone like right above me. I don't know why I made gestures. And then I'm going to try to get a second camera on here. I think so far, so good. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. I'm going to turn the stream off before I pull into my garage. So, have a great night.